Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is air. A-I-R.
Really?
You bet your life. And here he is, the one, the only. That's me, Groucho Marx. With $2,000 for one of our couples tonight. Fenneman, who's place to try for? Well, a bachelor and a spinster, Groucho, selected by our studio audience just before we went on the air.
Land sakes.
Their names are Ida Easley and Jack Wayne, and here they come now. Come in here, folks, to meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kid. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Ida Easley, huh?
Ida Easley.
Oh, that's an easy name to remember. You're the spinster, eh?
I am.
Mm-hmm. Let me see you spin. Where are you from, Ida?
I'm from Taylorville, Illinois.
Where?
Taylorville, Illinois.
Taylorville? Did you have a job, Ida?
I'm a matron of the Douglas Aircraft Company.
Ida, of course you realize that half of that swag belongs to Mr. Wayne over here, huh?
I think he's more worried than I am, so I have a hold of it.
Well, eventually he may be holding you and the $50, eh?
Well,
Jack,
I will tell.
Well, what do you do, Jack?
Oh, I run a streetcar.
Where are you from, Jack?
Born out of Boston.
Why did you leave the bean town?
Oh, my feet got itchy now on the Rome.
You went to Rome, and how'd you like it there? Where do you run your trolley?
On the track.
Caught me napping, eh? I suppose that's one of the little jokes you streetcar men use to amuse each other back in the car barn, is that it?
That's an old joke.
Yes, eh? Well, it may interest you to know that while you're knocking each other out back in the car barn, the city's pulling up the tracks to make way for a bus line. Jack, how come you're a bachelor? Is it because in your job you see too much of women?
Oh, I see plenty of them.
You do, huh? You could see a lot more of them if you step off your streetcar and watch them climb on. I always get on last. They think it's politeness, but it isn't really. Jack, if you found the right woman, would you be interested in matrimony?
Oh, I guess I would.
What would you consider the right woman?
Oh, a housekeeper, a good housekeeper, a good cook. And go to a ball game with me once in a while.
You don't need one girl, but you need is the YWCA, Jack. How old are you, Ida, if that isn't too...
Oh, I think I'm about his age.
Frankly, you don't care how old he is, do you?
Sort of such a thing.
You're his age anyway, no matter how old he is. Are you a good cook, Ida?
Well, I think I'm good.
You like baseball?
Oh, very much.
You follow it quite closely?
Yes, I keep up the game.
I see. Well, I'm an average fan, too. What do you think of Sugar Ray Robinson's chances this year? Huh? You think he's going to break Babe Ruth's record?
Oh, I think he stands a very good chance.
Yes, but on the other hand, don't forget, he still has to beat Gussie Moran.
I understand.
Well, you can't blame a girl for trying, I always say. As a matter of fact, I never said that before in my life. I don't know why I lie this way. Eh? Would you get married tonight if the right man came along and knocked you off your feet?
Oh, I think I would.
Well, look out for Ding Dong Daddy, eh? He can knock you off your feet and charge you 11-cent car fare at the same time. Well, you certainly make a nice couple. Just remember, none but the brave deserve the fare, Jack. Always remember that, huh? And you're just the one to collect it. Now, we're going to play You Bet Your Life for $2,000. All right, now let's see if you two will get a chance at the $2,000. Fenneman, explain the rules.
All right. Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $2,000 question at the end of the show. You see, our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
All right, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected birds, animals, and people as your categories. Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
$10.
$10. What animal do you associate with Jonah?
A whale.
The whale is right. Now, talk right up, Ivan.
And you folks are on your way. You have $30.
All right, you got $30. Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 will you try?
20.
20? What animal do you associate with the Pied Piper?
Oh,
Take a look at Jack.
oh, they followed her up the street. The piper.
Well, I'm sorry. It's rats. You were on the right track. How much do they got now?
They now have $10, Groucho.
Well, that's a shame. You're down to $10.
That's a shame. We're down
All
to
right.
$10.
Here's your third question. How much of the 10 will you try?
$5.
$5. Is that all right, Jack?
All right.
What animal do you associate with Daniel in the Bible?
Lion.
The lion is right. Huh?
Finally, again, you now have $15.
All right, you got $15, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 15 will you risk?
Well, let's take 10.
$10.
$10. What animal do you associate with Lady Godiva?
Oh, the horse.
That's right, a horse is correct. And we wind up with a grand total of $25. Don't forget, you won how much?
$25.
$25, and you won $100. That's $125. Thanks, and good luck.
Well, Groucho, our next couple has been in a waiting room off stage, so, of course, they don't know the secret word is air.
True.
Okay, fellas, you can bring them in now. We invited some lady barbers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Maybelle Taylor. Her partner is a married man, Mr. Thomas DeSilver. And here they are, folks. I'd like you to meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life, and if you say the secret word, you'll split $100 between you. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Maybelle Taylor, is that right?
That's right.
And Thomas DeSilva. You're a lady barber, Maybelle?
That's right.
Where are you from, Mabel?
Montana.
Montana, whereabouts?
Culbertson, Montana.
And Thomas DeSilva, you're a married man, huh?
That's right.
Is that your only claim to distinction, Thomas?
Yes.
What sort of work do you do, Tommy?
Retired police captain.
Oh, I'm glad I found that out. How long have you been married?
16 years.
Do you remember how you met your wife?
Yes, but it's a long story.
Well, keep it down to 1,500 words, will you? I have to be in Pittsburgh a week from next Wednesday. Okay, go ahead. How'd you meet your wife?
We went down to Wildwood, New Jersey. Had a couple of bathing suits and took her down to Wildwood, New Jersey. Put a bathing suit on and then I gave her the engagement ring.
You're a pretty shrewd cookie, aren't you?
So after seeing her in the bathing suit, then I started singing proposal to her.
You sang a proposal? Well, how did you sing a proposal to her?
Let me call her sweetheart and gave her the engagement ring.
Would you mind singing a few
Singing? Oh.
Well, go ahead.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me.
If we had two more fellas, we'd have to wait for
I'm in love with
And she consented to marry you after that? That's the first time I ever sang a chorus in 5 keys. Now, Mabel, are you married?
No, I'm not.
You're not married, huh? Would you get married to a man who sang like that to you?
Oh, certainly.
I never met a lady barber before. Aren't they pretty rare?
Well, I'd say there's possibly 15 of us in the city of Los Angeles.
No, that's medium rare. Now, what made you decide? What made you decide to become a barber? Or a tonsorial artist? Is that
I wanted to make money enough to see myself through nurses training.
And?
I'm still barbering.
What's the difference between a lady barber and a man barber?
There's several.
There are several differences?
There's several differences.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that, huh? You better clarify it, Mabel. There's a hermit in Idaho who may have forgotten.
Well, we have a lighter touch, and we don't talk an ear off of you.
What do you do? Just shave it off, huh? I suppose you have a scrapbook where you keep all your clippings, Mabel?
Yes.
Do any of your customers flirt with you, Mabel? The male customers?
Well, they're not really serious with me.
And how do you handle these Romeos?
Oh, I kid them along. They like it.
Well, how do you kid them? Do you tell them jokes?
Yes, occasionally.
Tell us a joke. Go ahead. Pretend I'm sitting in your chair and you want me to forget how much all this is going to cost me. Now you go ahead and tell me a joke.
Do you know the best way to save your hair?
Yes, put it in a cigar box. That's an old joke.
Do you know a way?
Tell me another joke, huh?
Do you know a way to avoid falling hair?
Yes, just step nimbly to one side, huh? That's even older than the other joke, huh? You know any more jokes, Mabel?
No, I believe not.
Go on, admit it. I'm too fast for you, huh, Mabel?
Well, your hair is getting a little bit thin.
Yeah, well, grass doesn't grow on a busy street, Mabel.
Well, I was just going to say that grass doesn't grow on a cement highway either.
Mabel, I know just how your customers feel. My head is bloody but unbowed. Well, all right, now we're going to play You Bet Your Life, huh? Now, we'll see how you two make out in the battle for the $2,000. You got to work together as a team and run your $20 into more than that other couple. I can't tell you how much the other couples won, but Fenneman's going to remind our listeners.
The Bachelor and the Spinster won $25.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected nicknames of famous cities as your category. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try? Tommy, wake up. $10. You're going to ignore Mabel, huh? What city is known as the city of brotherly love?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. That's where
They're on the way, Groucho. They have $30.
$30. Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 will you try? Talk right up.
Make it 20.
All right. What city is known as the biggest little city in the world?
Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada is right.
Oh, you're supposed to read for me now. That's $50.
Here's the third question. Now, how much will you bet?
50.
50. What city is known as the Mile High City?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado.
And they find the $100.
You'll climb as high as Denver, Colorado. Now, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 100 will you try?
Make it all. The last question.
Yes, here's the last question.
Let it go.
Let it go. You're going to shoot the works, huh? What city is known as the Smoky City?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh is right.
Robert, you can bring our next contestant. We invited to the show tonight some professional golfers and some singing teachers. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Lucia Liverette and Mr. Paul Runyon. And here they come. Folks, I'd like you to meet Roger Martin.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life, folks. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Lucia Liverette, huh? You're a singing teacher. Sounds like a pretty good racket, Lucia. Where are you from? Sing Sing?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, huh?
Yes,
You
sir.
sing the St. Louis blues?
Well, no, not quite.
Paul Runyon, it's nice to see you again. I'm sure everyone is familiar with your name. What did you say your name was? Paul Runyon. Paul Runyon, huh? See there, even you're familiar with it, huh? Well, let's see. You won the Davis Cup, the Whiteman Cup, and the men's singles at Forest Hills, didn't you?
You may have a good memory, but those are tennis terms.
Oh, wrong racket. What are some of your titles? What are some of your titles,
I
Paul?
was fortunate enough to win the National Professional Golfers Championship in
PGA.
1934 and 1938.
It's pretty good for a little fella like that, huh? All famous golfers had nicknames, Paul. What's yours?
Little Poison.
Little Poison, huh? They call me Big Schlemiel, huh? Why do they call you Little Poison, Paul?
Well, perhaps it's because I have been the thorn in the side of some heavier adversaries.
Very well put, Paul. And, Lucia, you, what kind of singing do you teach?
Opera and classical and semi-classic.
You mean they have to study to scream like that? Huh? Tell me, Rigoletto, can you teach anyone to sing?
I would say yes, because I've never found anyone yet who could not learn if he had the correct technical work.
You should have been out here about 10 minutes ago. You'd be licking your wounds now, Lucia. All right, how would you teach me, Lucia? Boom, 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 boom. That's Lucia.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, to begin with, correct breathing. Yes,
What?
inhaling
Inhaling.
deeply. Relaxation so the air will keep coming.
There you are. You picked that out, Lucia, and be sure Paul gets 50 of it, huh? Well, cadenza, are all singers alike, or is there a difference between them?
Oh, certainly.
What kind of voices do singers have?
Well, of course, to begin with, our first classification is there are women's voices and men's voices.
Well, I didn't know that. I must tell this to this Suppose I wanted to get up a lady quartet. Could I find one who sings bass?
No, the contralto is as low as a lady goes.
You haven't had Well, gee, obviously, we haven't been out with the same kind of lady. Paul, let's talk about golf. How long do you have to be a pro before you can become an amateur? Oh, no, my mistake. That's tennis. I was thinking of... What is your favorite club?
The Annandale Golf Club of Pasadena.
What's your best score for 18 holes?
On a regulation 18-hole championship course, 61 at the Forest Hill Field Club in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
How about, what does the average golfer go around with?
I think 95 to 100.
How about the girls? Don't some of the girls do better than that?
Oh, a good many of the girls go around in a great deal less.
What time is your club open up in the morning? I remember the first time I played golf, I went around in 75. I didn't play at all in 76. I was busy at Valley Forge. How can I improve my score? I shoot around 94. That's with cheating.
I think I'd advise you to take a few lessons from a competent instructor, do a little practicing and a little playing.
I've taken lessons. It's hopeless.
Well,
how could I learn to win without playing well?
You might resort to a little pencil pushing, or you might have a hole in your pocket, or you might have a handy toe in the rough, or you might use a hand mashie more frequently.
How is it you know so much about those things? Tell me about that pencil pushing again, huh?
First of all, you have to forget to count over 5.
On any hole?
Any hole.
What about the 540 at Hillcrest?
Well, I think you could still forget to count over 5 on that.
I do, but you know where I am? I'm in the first sand trap leading the tee. I met 11 Arabs the last time I played. You must have had a number of exciting moments as a professional golfer. Can you tell us about one of them, Paul?
Well, as a tournament player, I've had many exciting experiences. Perhaps the most exciting is during the playing of the international four-ball matches in Miami, Florida. I was partnered by Horton Smith in this best ball event, and on arriving at the 4th tee, I dropped a high 5-iron shot right on the top of the head of a gentleman sitting on a camp stool behind the Green. He had just reached up to take his hat off to polish his head with his handkerchief when the ball lit on the top of his head, and he dropped off of his seat like he'd been shot with a Winchester rifle. But on the next year, Horton and I incidentally won the first International Four-Ball Championship, and we were paired again as partners. The next year, arriving at the ninth green with 2,000 or 3,000 people down the left side of the fairway, Smith hit a booming hook down the left side. Down goes a man. Who is it? Our friend of the camp. And the publicity on the International Four-Ball matches the next year says that Dr. Johnson is in Miami to watch his perennial favorites, Runyon and Smith, in the International Four-Ball matches, but he'll gallery in an armored suit. You bet your life. You beat the other two couples and you get a chance at the $2,000 question. Now, I can't tell you how much the other couples won, but Fenneman's offstage remind our listeners.
The Lady Barber and the married man are ahead with $200.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected women athletes as your category. Now, here's your first question. How much will you bet? $10?
$10.
$10. In what sport is Gussie Moran famous? Tennis. Tennis is right, huh? Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of your $30 will you bet on your second question? $20. $20. In what sport is Florence Chadwick famous? It's a tough one. Take a stab. No, I'm sorry. It's swimming. She broke Gertrude Edley's record for the channel.
They now have $10.
You now have $10, he said in a low, funereal voice, huh? Here's your third question. How much of the 10 you going to go for? 9. No. Well, you're going to hang on the edge, huh, Paul? In what sport is Patty Bragg famous? No. Golf is right, huh? Well, on the way again. Now that's $19. All right, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 19? The works. You're going to shoot the works. All right. In what sport is Barbara Ann Scott famous? Ice skating. Ice skating is correct.
And they wind up with a grand total of $38. And that means the Lady Barber and the married man with $200 get the chance at the $2,000 question. And here's the Lady Barber and the married man all set for the $2,000 question. Good luck to you.
Here we go for $2,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. So think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. The longest battle of our Civil War was the 7 Days Battle. What city was the objective of this great struggle?
Richmond?
Richmond is right. You had the right answer, so you win $2,000. What are you going to do with all that money?
Help a brother-in-law.
You're going to help your brother-in-law. Why?
Ill.
Oh, he's ill. Well, that's a fine way to spend it. And you, Mabel?
It's done to the Cancer Fund.
Come to the Cancer Fund. Well, those are worthy objectives. Let's see. You won $2,000 plus $100 in the. How much did they win?
$200 in the quiz.
$200 in the quiz and $2,000 cash. And the secret word?
I don't think this couple of
Well, you won $2,200, $2,200. Congratulations and thanks to both of you.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is bread. B-R-E-A-D.
Really?
You bet your life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Is that fool still around? Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. you. Well, here I am again with $2,500 for one of our couples tonight. It's a lot of money. George Fenneman, who's first to try for it?
We invited some pediatricians to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, we selected Dr. Alonzo Katz. His partner is a young mother from the audience, Mrs. Christine Garcia. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, to You Bet Your Life. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins $100 immediately. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. A young mother and a pediatrician. Which one is the young mother?
I am.
You are? Congratulations, Mrs. Christine Garcia, huh?
Yes.
You know, you're named after a 10-cent cigar. Did you know that?
Yes, I...
Where are you from? I'll call you Christine, huh?
Okay. I'm,
You call me Garcia, huh?
All right.
Later on, I'll give you a message from Garcia. Where are you from, Christine?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
And Mr. Alonzo Cass, huh? What's your hometown?
Los Angeles.
And Mr. Cass, how long have you two been married? Huh?
I'm the pediatrician.
Oh. Well, I don't care what your religion is, just as long as you're happy. Now then, how long have you two been married? Huh?
She's not my wife.
A fine time to desert her right after she has a child. How old are you, Christine?
19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're certainly well preserved, huh? You don't look a day over 18. How long have you been a mother?
My baby is 8 months old.
Mr. Cass, what did you say your vocation was? And don't tell me the last 2 weeks in August, huh?
I'm a pediatrician.
It's a very old joke, huh? It's so old I didn't even get a laugh, huh? What is your vocation? And don't tell me the last 2 weeks in August, huh? Maybe the month is wrong. I'll try July next year. You're a pediatrician, huh?
That's right.
Is that so? How long have you been a bicycle rider?
I don't ride bicycles. I take care of babies.
Oh, you're a baby doctor, huh? Oh, I thought a baby doctor'd be about 3 years old, huh? Like a baby elephant, huh? Well, that shows you, huh? You don't mind if I call you Doc, do you?
Well, most doctors like to be called just Doctor or Al.
Oh, I couldn't call my Dr. Al. His name is Henry, huh? You want me to call you Doctor or Al or what?
Well, you use your own judgment. That's perfectly all right.
Okay, well, tell me, Josephine, how long... You brought that on yourself, Doc. Do you have any little patients of your own at home?
Yes, I have 6 children. They're not patients.
Not your patients, huh? Smart kids, they don't trust their old man. Why is that? Why aren't they your victims?
Well,
patients?
Usually it's not considered ethical to take care of your own family.
In addition to that, it'd be kind of difficult collecting the bill, wouldn't it? How old is your husband, Mrs. Garcia?
23.
Is he shaving yet?
Oh, yes.
What sort of work does he do?
He's an upholster.
How did you meet him?
I met him at a dance. My father introduced him to me.
What do you mean your father introduced you?
Well, he knew him.
Oh, he knew him, and did you evince a desire to meet this man, or just...
Well, no.
Did your father drag over everybody at a dance and say, here's another specimen, try this one? Huh?
No.
What is the baby's name, Christine?
John Joseph.
John Joseph? Any reason why you chose that name?
Well, John is my husband's first name, and Joseph is my father's name.
He gets an assist for dragging him over that dance. How much did your baby weigh when it was born, Christine?
6 pounds, 8 ounces.
And what does it weigh now?
22 pounds.
Gained a lot of weight, didn't he?
Well, they're supposed to double their weight in 6 months.
At that rate, time the kid is 21, he'd weigh about 2,300 pounds. Doc, Croker, is Christine doing the right thing?
Well, the first job of a baby is to gain weight and keep its strength up.
In some cases, that's the last job the bum ever has. Huh? How much does your pride and joy eat in a day, Christine?
Besides baby food, 4 bottles.
You eat 4 bottles a day? That's a pretty hardy kid, you know.
He doesn't...
when you burp him, isn't there danger of flying glass? I suppose he just lies there on his back and blows martini bubbles. What did you put in his bottle, Christine,
His formula, about 160 calories.
What's a calorie? Is that any relation to cab calorie?
Well, that's something in food to make the baby big and strong.
You better stick to a plain diet for that kid, Every day, wholesome food like bottles and glasses. Now, Pavel and Pete, suppose you tell them... Suppose you tell this little mother what a calorie is.
Well, a calorie is the amount of heat that it takes to heat a cubic centimeter of water through 1 degree.
Well, if your kid can swallow that, he has a cast iron stomach. Doc, what kind of a pediatrician are you,
Well, I belong to the Blue Shield.
What's that? What's the Blue Shield?
Blue Shield's a national organization organized by the doctors. It's a voluntary medical insurance plan where the people pay a certain amount each month. Then they're taken care of by any doctor that they choose.
Well, is it like in England? Can they get glasses and toupees and things like that?
Well, I don't dispense glasses and toothpaste. I suppose they'd have to pay.
Have you got an old toupee? You're not...
Not yet.
Well, what do you do as a pediatrician?
Well, I take care of the babies right from birth and watch their development and advise the mothers how to feed their babies and see that they're raised, I hope, into being good citizens.
Do the mothers swallow all this hoopla?
No.
Tell me, Christine, does your pediatrician do all this work on your baby?
Well, so far he's given him a couple of shots.
You mean he shot him? Well, we've all got to go sometime, I guess. Why'd he shoot him, in the head?
No, in the arm.
I'm still getting those, Well, I'm glad to hear that. He just winged him, in other words. Now, Doc, as long as you're here, would you mind if I steal some free advice?
No, go ahead.
I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, and she loves candy. Should I give it her?
Why, of course.
How much? Candy?
Well, she can have all she wants, as a matter of fact.
All she wants?
Yes.
Isn't it bad for the teeth? Or...
No.
Is that so? Well, I'm glad my kid can't hear this. And she doesn't like to drink her orange juice in the morning. What should I do about that?
Well, you could try drinking it yourself.
Well, by the time I get to hers, it's pretty sloppy, And during the night, she likes to get up out of bed every few hours. How can I make her sleep?
Try spanking her.
Every night, slugging her?
I don't think it would last very long if you slug her once or twice.
I don't think I would either. Well, you're pretty tough with babies, Give them a lot of candy, snatch away their orange juice, and slug them, Can't wait till I get home with that baseball bat, Well, in spite of my kidding, Doc, I'm sure you pediatricians are contributing a great deal to the health of the community. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to try for the DeSoto Plymouth $2,500 question.
Every DeSoto Plymouth dealer has an assignment that means service to you. A mission to deal with you fairly and squarely, whether it be for a new car, a used car, or a simple repair job. Friends, those few simple words stand for a whole way of doing business. A business policy, you might call it, by which more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers across the entire country have made a reputation which, frankly, is the envy of many other folks in the automotive business, or in any business for that matter. These dealers realize that it's good business sense to treat customers right, to make courtesy an important part of the day's work of all their employees, to tackle any job, no matter how small, with an honest desire to please you. Now, if that's the kind of place you like to do business with, drive in to any authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Let's see if a young mother and a pediatrician will get the chance at the $2,500. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $2,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected songs with beverages in the title. Is that right? Here's your first question. You have $20. How much are you going to try and talk right into the microphone?
$10.
What's the name of this song? Play, Jerry.
top the barrel.
And they're on their way. They have $30, Groucho.
Well, now you got $30. Remember, you're going for $2,500 tonight. How much of the 30 will you try?
20 this time.
$20. Let's see if you can identify this one.
T for 2.
C for 2.
They're climbing now. They have $50.
All right, you have $50. How much of the 50 will you bet?
40.
40. Give me the title of this song with a beverage in the title. Music, please.
Cream in my coffee.
Cream in my coffee. You're the cream of my coffee at 70 cents a pound. Now, here's the...
They have $90, Groucho.
$90. They wouldn't have written that song today. Here's your last chance to beat the other couple. How much of the 90 are you going to try?
20.
$20. All right. This song is by Hoagie Carmichael. It's got a beverage in the title. Okay?
Oh, buttermilk sky.
Oh, buttermilk sky.
And they wind up with $110.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, don't sneak off. You might still be high for the night and get the chance at the $2,500 question.
Groucho, the secret word is still bread. Perhaps our next couple will say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a shoemaker and a housewife. And here they are, Mr. Marvin Babb and Mrs. Harriet Mosley. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, to You Bet Your Life. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Mrs. Mosley, is that right?
Right.
Where are you from, Mrs. Mosley?
Sioux City, Iowa, originally.
Sioux City, huh? Mr. Babb, who do you work for?
For Joe Zinke.
Are you married, Mr. Babb?
Yes.
Does your wife think you're a good shoemaker?
Well, naturally.
Probably thinks you're a fine fellow to boot, too, huh? Has she ever done that?
She's tried it a few times.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any little hides at home that need tanning?
Got one.
Got one, huh? How long have you been married, Mrs. Mosley?
Almost 14 years.
Well, you don't look it.
Thank you, sir.
You look like a recent bride.
I'm almost old enough to be your mother, I'll bet.
I would consider that very seriously, Elijah.
Anytime, Mr. Marks, you come out and join the brood.
Well, if I have to be part of a brood, let's skip it, huh? I want to do my own brooding. Now, you have children? I'll
Yes,
call
sir.
you Harriet, huh?
Thank you. Yes, I have children.
What are their ages?
12, and 8, and 6, and 4.
Bingo. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you called my number. How did you meet your husband, Harriet?
Feet first.
Feet first?
Yes, sir. He was stuck in a transom.
Was it your transom?
No, sir.
Would
He
you
was
mind
trying to-
clarifying that?
Well, he was trying to get into his own hotel room, the hard way, I guess. He started through, and the transom had closed on him, and he couldn't get out, he couldn't get in.
Are you sure that was his room?
Yes, sir, I am. Because he was making these strange noises. That's the first thing that drew my attention to him. And
Well,
you
it's
can
not the
imagine-
customary position.
No. Certainly isn't. And he said, well, I have a key in my pocket. That seemed awfully silly, but I got the key out of his pocket.
Just a moment, Harriet. Just a moment. Why was he going in through the transom if he had a key in his pocket?
Mr. Marks, he's never told me. I honestly don't know. That's true.
And he still...
I have my own ideas, but...
They're not your own ideas. They're mine, too. Now, shoemaker, I'll just call you cobbler, huh?
We don't like to be called that. That's
Cobbler?
more of a butcher.
Well, some of my shoes have been butchered up pretty well. So what specifically do you do?
I repair shoes, put on new soles, new heels, make repairs in the uppers.
You repair uppers? You mean you're also a dentist?
No, I just make shoes.
Oh, now what's the... used to be an old joke about a fellow, patent leather shoes, leather on top and his bare feet were patent on the ground. That belonged to Moran and Mac, the two Black Crows. And they can have it, I might add. How'd you get to be a shoemaker? Did you study at Oxford?
No.
That's a kind of a joke, you see. Which shoes are hard? Do you ever sing Shoo Shoo Baby when you're working? No, I guess not. Which shoes are harder to repair, men's or women's?
No, women's shoes are much harder to repair.
Why is it?
Well, because of all the fantastic designs and styling.
So why do they wear such fantastic styles? Harriet, Maybe you can answer that. Why do they wear such
Well, I
peculiar
suppose
stones?
get the men to notice their feet.
Wouldn't they do better attracting attention if they walked around barefoot? Well, if you really want to stop traffic, try going without looking carefully before you cross the street. What do they put in cheap shoes that make them wear out?
Well, they put a lot of belly leather in the soles and the insoles.
What's belly leather?
Well, that's the part of the hide that is the covering for the animal's belly. And then you put...
What's the matter with that? Why isn't that just as good as any other part?
Well, that's nice for the cow, but it don't work very good in shoes.
You mean they just can't stomach that kind of leather? Suppose I brought some shoes into your shop and they were in pretty bad shape. Exactly, what would you do to them?
They were really knocked around, beat up, and rip, rattle, and run down the heels. I'd start put on a new welt, new heels, new heel bases.
You do all
really
that,
Really make them look like a new pair of shoes.
Seems hardly worthwhile to go to all that trouble. I'm talking about horseshoes. Now, can you tell anything about a person just by looking at a pair of shoes?
Yes.
Well, what can you tell? Give us an example.
Well, you can tell whether he's a man or a woman.
Shoemaker, stick to your last. How would you like it if I came down to your shop and tied all the shoelaces together? Well, I must say I learned a lot about shoe repairing here tonight. Now, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for $2,500. You beat our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the big question later. I can't tell you how much the first couple won, but Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The pediatrician and the young mother earned $110.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected leaders in our government as your category. Now, here's your first question. You have $20. How much are you going to try?
10.
Who is Vice President of the United States?
Barkley.
Alvin Barkley is right.
We're on their way with $30, Groucho.
Remember, you're going for $2,500 tonight. How much of the 30 will you try?
20.
Who is the Chief Justice of the United States?
Douglas?
No, I'm sorry. It's Fred Vinson.
Oh, dear.
Now they have $10.
Well, now you've got $10. Here's your third question. How much of the 10 will you try?
Bet the 10.
Who is the senior senator from Ohio? His father was a president.
Taft.
Senator Taft is correct.
And they're on their way again. They have $20.
Now you've got 20. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 20 will you bet?
20.
Who is the Secretary of State?
Dean Atchison.
Dean Atchison is correct.
And they wind up with $40.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, in a moment, we'll know who's going to earn the chance at the $2,500 question. George, who's ahead so far?
The pediatrician and the young mother are leading with $110. And the secret word is still bread. We invited a number of models to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience chose Dorothy Green. Her partner is Mr. M.A.K. Feldsberg, an artist. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, including that whistle. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins $100 instantly. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Miss Dorothy Green, is that right?
That's correct.
You're the model, and a very, very lovely one, too, huh?
Thank
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Let's quit right here, huh? Do you have any little new models at home?
Well, they're sort of new. I have 3.
You have 3?
Yes, I do.
How old are they?
I have 1 6, 1 5, and 1 2.
Well, you don't look it.
Well, thank you.
You must have got married on your bar mitzvah. And Mr. M.A.K. Feldsberg, is that right?
Yes.
Where are you from, Mac?
New York originally.
I call you Mac, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Where are you from?
New York originally.
New York, huh? You're the artist, huh?
That's right.
You look a little drawn. I didn't recognize the name. What comic strip do you draw, Mr.?
I don't draw comic strips.
Well, keep trying. You'll get there, huh? Are you married, Mac?
Yes.
How did you meet your wife?
At Carnegie Hall, we happened to have been sitting together.
Did you go in there together, or just...
No.
Just music lovers, huh?
Yes.
You started out as music lovers, is that it?
That's right.
And you didn't wind up that way, no?
No, I carried on with my painting.
I hope that's the only carrying on you did, Mr.
Definitely.
What were they playing the night you were at Carnegie Hall, do you remember?
Oh, Brahms' Brandenburg Concerto No. 2. Never forget
it's
that.
It's Bach, you know. It's not Brahms.
Bach, yes.
Just want you to know that I'm no schmo, you know. Many a glass of Bach beer I've drunk in my time. Have you ever painted a portrait of your wife, Mr. Felsberg?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Where do you hang her? Huh? Where did you hang her?
In the living room over the fireplace.
Isn't it a little warm there?
Huh? Talking about the painting.
On this program, we're never sure, Mr. Felsberg. Do you have many paintings on exhibition in galleries?
Yes, I have some all the way across the country, Boston, New York, Pittsburgh, and a few others.
Any local people?
Yes,
people?
Recently I sold a painting, quite a large painting, to Frank Sinatra.
To Sinatra?
Yes.
Who carried it home for him? That was probably a frame-up, huh? How can you tell if someone has artistic talent?
Well, I don't believe in the talent. There is no such thing as
There's
talent.
no such thing as?
No.
This will be a great blow to Bing Crosby, you know. Particularly since his son is now pushing him off the airwaves. Could I learn to paint a picture of Dorothy Green here?
Oh, I think so, with a proper supervision.
Well, if I have to have supervision, I'm not interested. Now, what kind of a model are you outside of being a pretty fair-looking dish there, Dorothy? Are you the new 1950 model DeSoto that's all new from bumper to bumper?
Well, I wouldn't say that, no. I'm a photographic and showroom model.
And where do you do your modeling?
I work through Carolyn Leonetti's agency in Hollywood.
House of Charm, isn't it?
Yes.
May I ask how old you are, Dorothy?
Yes, I'm 26.
You're a fairly recent model, aren't you? What size are you?
What size am I? I'm a perfect size 12.
I don't care what size you are. You're just perfect. What do you say is the most difficult part about modeling?
Well, I would say the fact that we usually work a season ahead. You wind up in a nice, stuffy, hot showroom modeling fur coats in the middle of the summer, and you usually wind up out on the beach in the pouring rain modeling bathing suits in January or something.
You wear a bathing suit in the winter?
Yes, I have, many times.
I can't see what keeps you warm.
You're not supposed to.
Well, I can dream, can't I? Now, what kind of models do you prefer to work with, Mr. Felsberg?
Well, I paint the sea, landscapes and seascapes.
Well, you stick to your work and I'll stick to mine. Now, Mr. Felsberg, I want you to disregard anything I've said about you. Your professional reputation is safe in spite of me. Now, you're going to play the DeSoto Plymouth game. You bet your life. If you beat our other two couples, you'll get a crack at the $2,500 question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The pediatrician and the young mother are still ahead with $110.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected maiden names of movie stars as your category. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
10? All right, we'll try 10.
What is Mrs. Humphrey Bogart's maiden name?
Lauren Bacall.
Lauren Bacall is correct.
And they're off to a good start with $30, Groucho.
How much of the 30 are you going to try? Remember, you're going for $2,500. That's the big one now.
Right.
20.
20. What is Mrs. Tyrone Power's maiden name?
Linda Christian.
Linda Christian is correct.
They're climbing now. They have $50.
Now you have $50. Here's your third question. How much will you bet of the 50?
25.
25. Here we go. What is Mrs. Walter Wange's maiden name?
Joan Bennett.
Joan Bennett is right.
They're really on their way. They have $75.
Now you got 75, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 75 will you risk?
Should we try 60?
Yes.
60.
60. What is Mrs. Desi Arnaz's maiden name?
Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball.
And they wind up with a grand total of $135, and that means that they get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $2,500 question. If you own a car, it's important to you to get expert service at a fair price. You don't have to be told that. But I do want to tell you that it pays to go to an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer, whether it's an emergency or a routine checkup. For there, you get expert, courteous service at the lowest possible cost. In fact, that's a DeSoto Plymouth dealer's everyday way of doing business. Now, they're able to accomplish this because they have highly skilled mechanics in their shop. And these experts work with special factory-designed and approved tools. From the records they keep on your car, they're able to tell you, for example, when your engine is ready for a tune-up or new lubrication. They'll tell you when your tires should be rotated to add thousands of miles to their life. So, for the best from your car, drive in where you get the best service at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here's the model and the artist, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $2,500 question, Groucho.
Well, you won't have to paint anything for a long time if you guess this, Mr. Felsberg. All right, here we go for $2,500. Ready? I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully, and please, no help from the audience. Here it is. As you know, members of the President's Cabinet are appointed. The portfolio of one of these, however, expires every 4 years. Which Cabinet member's term expires every 4 years? Okay, what's the answer you two have decided upon?
No,
I'm sorry. It's the Postmaster General.
Yeah. Oh.
So that means the big question next week will be worth $3,000. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $135 in the quiz. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you.
Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week the big question will be worth $3,000.
Well, it's almost time for Bing Crosby, so good night, folks. And remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Here's a tip from the National Safety Council. Just take it slow on ice or snow. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is sugar. S-U-G-A-R.
Rather.
You bet your life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Never heard of him. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $3,000 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first?
We invited some milkmen and some brewmasters to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected milkman Howard Cram. His partner is brewer John White. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, gents, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if one of you says the secret word at any time, he wins $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you use every day. A milkman and a brewmaster, eh? Milkman Howard Cram, is that right? Where are you from, Howard?
Park City, Montana. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from Yellowstone National Park.
Well, is that the only way you can go? And, Mr. Weiss, you're the brewmaster, huh?
That's right.
Oh, where are you from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Why aren't you from Milwaukee?
Born in Omaha.
Did you know then you were going to be in the beer business?
Almost.
Almost? Milkman, you haven't turned sour yet, have you?
No.
Who do you work for?
Edor Milk Farms.
Mm-hmm. And Beer Bust, who do you work for?
Meyer Brewing Company.
Who, the Meyer Brewing Company?
Meyer Brewing Company.
How much beer do you brew in a day?
Oh, about 900 barrels.
And Milkman, how much milk do you deliver in a day?
Oh, I deliver around 550 quarts a day.
You deliver 550 quarts of milk a day?
Yes.
I don't believe it. Let me see you open your big brown eyes and say, "Mwah." Now, as a milkman, has anything embarrassing ever happened to you, Mr. Cram?
Well, yes, several things. One, for instance, my wife and I was walking down the street the other day, and I happened to see one of my customers on the street. And I says, "How do you do, Mrs. Jones?" And she looks at me and didn't even recognize me. And I was dressed just like I am now, and I said, "Well, don't you recognize me, Mrs. Jones? I'm your milkman." She says, "Oh, I didn't know you with your clothes on."
This must have made your wife very happy. How about you, Beer Bottle? Have you ever had any unusual experience, embarrassing?
Yes, I remember one incident when I served my apprenticeship in the Berea. This plank was placed across the top of this tank here, and I fell off the plank into this tank of beer.
Well, would you have stayed in there if there were pretzels in there?
I think so.
Have you ever been totally dry, Mr. Weiss? Do you know how to milk a cow, Mr. Cram?
Oh, it's easy. There's nothing to it.
Well, it's easy to lay an egg, but I bet you can't do that. Well, I think the least you two could do is shake hands. I now pronounce you malted milk, huh? Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to have a chance to make $3,000.
For many reasons, the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America believe that their way of doing business has won them many new customers, folks who will continue to be their customers. That's because these dealers have done their utmost to treat you fairly and squarely, whether it be for a new car, a used car, or a simple repair job. They've tried to be courteous all along. Well, you, the car owners of America, seem to have appreciated this kind of organization and the attitude it had toward you. So today, in every city and every state, thousands of smart car owners make sure they stop at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Now, let's say if a milkman and a brewmaster will be the ones who get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question. Fenneman, explain the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets the chance at the $3,000 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's going on out here.
You selected famous friends and companions as your category, is that right? All right, now you have $20. How much are you going to bet? $10. Here's your first question. You bet $10. What was the name of Robinson Crusoe's faithful servant?
Friday.
Friday is right, huh?
They're on their way with $30, Groucho.
Remember, you're going for $3,000 tonight. How much of the 30 will you try?
20.
What was the name of John Alden's good friend? So quiet you can hear a contestant drop. Well, I'm sorry. It was Miles Standish.
They now have $10.
All right. Here's your third question. How much of the 10 are you going to try?
$5.
$5. Who was Tom Sawyer's best friend?
Huckleberry Finn.
Huckleberry Finn is right.
They're on the way again. They have $15.
All right, now you got 15. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 15?
15.
Shoot the works. Who was Sherlock Holmes' faithful friend?
Sherlock Holmes.
Dr. something.
Well, yes, that's right. It was Dr. Watson the Needle.
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Watson. Well, here's one more chance to make some money. If you get this one right, I'll hand over $10 in cash, and please, no coaching. Who was buried in Grant's tomb?
Grant.
General Grant is right! Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now stick around. Who knows? You may be the ones who get the chance at the $3,000 question.
Groucho, the secret word is still sugar. Perhaps our next couple will say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected an interior decorator, Mr. Doug Haynes, and a housewife, Mrs. Audrey Forsythe. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. And if one of you says the DeSoto Plymouth secret word, he wins $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you use every day. Audrey Forsythe, where are you from?
Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
You're a very pretty housewife.
Thank you.
Is your husband as pretty as you are?
Not quite.
Is he much bigger than you are?
Yes, he is.
Well, let's forget it, huh? What does your husband do, Audrey?
He's in the Army. He's a tech sergeant.
A tax sergeant?
Yeah,
What does he do?
technical.
Sit on tax? Now, what is a tax sergeant? I haven't been.
Well, I don't know.
I've
It's
only
just-
been through 5 wars, so I don't know. I didn't say I was in them. I was just through them.
Well, it's the grade below a master is all I know.
And do you see him very often?
Oh, he's going overseas.
When?
Around the 28th, I suppose.
Mr. Douglas Haynes, you're the interior decorator, huh?
No, Hal Haynes, sir.
Oh, Hal Haynes, huh? Where are you from, Hal?
I'm from Auckland, New Zealand.
Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Is your wife in the Army? Huh?
No, she's not in the army.
How did you meet your wife, Hal?
Well, she was touring in New Zealand with her father, who's Dante the magician. And I went to a dance, and I met her and looked at her and said, "Can you see out of those beautiful eyes?" And she said yes, and 2 weeks later we were married.
Is that the customary approach in New Zealand?
I don't know, sir. It's the only one I've ever approached.
Well, I think you did it charmingly, huh? How did you meet your husband, Mrs. Forsythe?
I was working at my brother and sister-in-law's cafe during the summer.
Where was this?
In Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Oh.
And my brother-in-law is a very ticklish person. I mean, he's just ticklish all over. And
You say he's ticklish all over? You mean all over Arkansas? You'll have to explain that a little clearer, huh? Not too clear now, huh?
And this morning, I came bursting in this cafe, and I noticed this man bending over the drink case. So I ran up to him, and I jabbed him in his ribs, and this fella fell practically in the drink case. His hair was wet, and so I started laughing, naturally. And when I laugh, I close my eyes, and so
Let's see, will you laugh?
So when I looked up,
You say he's leaving the 28th?
So, where was I now?
You had your betrothed in a water case or something.
So when I finally stopped laughing, I looked up and hissed a very angry man. I said I was sorry that I thought he was my brother-in-law. And then we were married a couple of months later.
Was he dry by that time?
Yes, he was quite dry.
Where do you do your decorating, Mr. Haynes?
I work for W&J Sloan's in Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm. Well, how much would you charge to decorate, let's say, fix up the inside of the average 5-room house?
Oh, about $4,000 to $5,000.
Now, I don't mean to build a house. I mean, just climb down out of that chandelier up there. I mean, how little could you do it for?
Well, we could do it for as little as, say $500 or $1,000, but
Really?
wouldn't suit a man in your position, Mr. Mark.
My customary position is horizontal. Would that be? Now, to be a successful decorator, what do you regard as the most important requirement?
Well, you have to know proper balance of a room and...
Proper balance in the bank?
Well, yes.
at him grin when I said bank. Huh? What else?
The layout of the room. I mean, you should have it in conversational groupings.
Conversational groupings? You mean the furniture sits around and talks to each other?
No, I mean, we try and face chairs.
One chair says to the other, he says, my, your legs are crooked tonight. You ought to wear a longer valance. Says, well, my balance in the bank is so bad I can't afford it. No groaning, please. Huh? Mrs. Forsythe, has your husband gone yet? Tell me, have you learned anything about interior decorating?
It sounds expensive.
Mr. Haynes, would you care to defend yourself?
Well, as a matter of fact, a good decorator can save money.
Well, at your prices, I'm not surprised. Huh? How much did you save last year? Huh? How do you generally decide what color scheme to use in a house? Hal?
Well, if it's a cold room, you use warm colors.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be better to put in a gas heater? Mrs. Forsythe, if this isn't too impudent, what color is your living room?
It's pink.
It's pink. Huh? How about it, Mr. Haynes? Is the living room warm?
Oh, yes.
How do you know her living room is warm? Maybe she's wearing long underwear. Well, tell us more about colors. It's fascinating. For example, what's a good color for the bedroom?
Well, I would use pastel shades. Loud colors have a tendency, to keep you awake.
Mrs. Forsythe, what color is your bedroom?
It's a sort of an orange red.
Sounds noisy. How do you sleep?
I turned the light out, and the colors are...
You say you turn the light out?
Yes.
Doesn't that keep your husband in the dark? Now, you're going to have a chance to make $3,000. You run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get a crack at the big question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George Fenneman is off stage to remind our listeners.
The milkman and the brewmaster lost all their money, so this couple has a clear field.
Here we go. You have $20. How much are you going to risk?
10.
You selected largest cities of the United States as your category. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, you're going to bet $10. What is the largest city in the state of Ohio?
Akron.
Do you agree with that?
Toledo.
I'm sorry, it's Cleveland.
They now have $10, Groucho.
Well, that's too bad. Well, you've got $10. Remember, you're going for $3,000. That's the big prize anyhow. Now, how much of the $10 will you try?
5.
What is the largest city in the state of Michigan?
Detroit.
Detroit is correct.
Well, on the way now. They have $15.
Now you have $15. Now, how much of the 15 you going to try?
10.
What is the largest city in the state of Massachusetts?
Boston.
Boston is correct.
They're still climbing. They have $25.
Now, you've got $25, and here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 25 you going to risk?
25.
Shoot the works. What is the largest city in the state of Missouri?
St. Louis.
St. Louis is correct.
And they wind up with $50.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, in just a moment, our last couple will come up to bat, and then we'll know who gets the chance at the $3,000. Gentlemen, who's ahead so far?
The interior decorator and the housewife are leading with their $50. And the secret word is still sugar. Perhaps the next couple will say it. In honor of Valentine's Day, we invited some people whose occupations are in keeping with the season. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Jack Thorpe, a greeting card writer, and his partner is Miss Frankie Brown, a wedding director. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, children, to You Bet Your Life. And if one of you says the DeSoto Plymouth secret word, he wins $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you use every day. A greeting card writer and a wedding director. Huh? Mr. Thorpe, huh? You're the greeting card writer? Huh?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Well, greetings. Where are you from? Huh?
Los Angeles.
Frankie Brown? That's an odd name for a girl, isn't it?
My name's really Frances.
Oh, well, there's a new movie out called Frances, you know. Were you the star of that picture?
Not that I know of.
It's a good thing. Frances is a mule in this picture. Where are you from, Frankie?
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Do you have a husband, Frankie?
No, I don't.
You have nice teeth, Frankie.
Thank you.
Do you plan to remain an old maid, Frankie?
I'm not an old maid. I'm only 22.
How old are you, Jack?
25.
Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Well, let's find out something about you, too. Frankie Gal, where do you direct your weddings?
At Hotel Last Frontier in Las Vegas, Nevada.
How many marriages have you engaged in?
About 1,500.
And how many engagements have you married in? What are your duties as a wedding director?
Well, I arrange for the organist, send notices to their hometown paper, contact the minister, and arrange flowers.
You sure you're not a funeral director?
No, I'm a wedding director.
It's a pretty mortuary description you have. You're a wedding director, huh? Well, there isn't too much difference, huh? Only thing is, at a wedding, you can smell your own flowers. Now, tell me about the greeting card business, Mr. Thorpe. Who do you work for?
Well, I do work for Colonial Greeting Card, Buzzer Cardoza, and several others.
Yeah, well, what are your duties as a greeting card writer?
Oh, I write verses for greeting cards.
You mean somebody writes those things, huh? How do you know what to write?
Well, the simplest thing is the best. The more you say and the less you mean, the better.
It's something like the Congressional Record, huh? Well, can anybody be a greeting card writer?
No, it takes a special talent. You have to be general, not too specific. For example, if I say, to my black-eyed sweetheart, a fella couldn't send that to a blue-eyed girl.
You could if you gave her 2 shiners the night before. Well, tell me, Shakespeare, what are the... what specifically are the occasions for which you provide this deathless prose? Huh?
Well, we have greeting cards for all occasions. Birthdays, Valentines, congratulations for starting a new business.
Congratulations for starting a new business?
That's right.
And suppose he goes Machola. What happens then? Suppose he goes bankrupt.
I'll think up a new verse.
What do? You say the voice is yet to come? Suppose you were in love with Frankie here, Jack, and you wanted to send her a beautiful Valentine poem. What would you say on it? Go ahead, whip one out. Huh?
Oh, I couldn't whip one right out. I'd have to think about it.
Well, how long? Huh?
Well, would it take me a couple of days?
By that time, she's married to some desert right up in Las Vegas. You know those desert rats? They trap them with cheesecake up there. Don't you carry any of your epics around with you?
Oh, I always carry cards with me.
Well, read us one. Huh?
Hi there, Grandma darling.
Frankie, you certainly got old quick, huh? Well, Jackie boy, that was pretty old-fashioned. Haven't you got anything more streamlined?
Yes, I have a comic Valentine here.
Oh, you have, huh?
It has a picture of a garter and a stocking on it. As the stocking said to the garter, "Hook up with me, pal. I ain't been snagged yet."
I'll bet that'd be a wow in Las Vegas, huh? Frankie, while you're swooning from all this sentiment here, let's talk some more about your job. For instance, where do the people come from who get married in your chapel?
Well, they come from all over the world.
Well, why? Can't they get married in Yugoslavia or Spain?
No. Our chapels...
Panama Canal?
It doesn't cost as much as having a large wedding in your hometown.
And then another thing, nobody knows you're there, too. Huh? Well, how much do you charge for this grand larceny?
We have two plans. One is $25.
$25?
Mm-hmm. The other
What do you
$15.
get for the $25?
Well, $25, you get the minister of your choice and an organist to play whatever songs you'd like, witnesses if you need them.
No bride? What do I get for $15? I'm probably not even there for that. What do I get for $15?
Well, for $15, you get the same things as you do for the $25, except that you get a live organist.
For $15? For $15, you get a live organist? What do you get, a dead one for $25? Frankie? Frankie, I'll take the one with the dead organist. Huh? That's the one for me. It's $10 more, but it's worth it, huh? Now, Frankie, what's the largest number of splice jobs you've racked up in a single day, huh?
One Valentine's Day, we had 27 weddings.
And is that what killed the organist? What are your working hours on a job like that, huh?
Well, I work from 9 to 5, and I'm on call 24 hours a day.
Oh. Well, you're sort of like a fireman, huh? You slide down a brass pole with a box of rice in one hand and a dead organist in the other. Well, now that you two are practically engaged, let's see if you'll get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question. Beat our other two couples, and you'll get a crack at the $3,000 question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The interior decorator and the housewife are ahead with $50.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected colleges as your category. All right, you have $20. How much you going to try?
Well, we'll start with 10.
What college is located at Palo Alto?
Stanford.
Stanford is right.
And we're off to a fine start with $30.
All right, you got $30. Remember, you're going for $3,000 tonight. How much of the 30 will you bet?
25.
25. What college is located at Ann Arbor?
Michigan.
University of Michigan.
They're climbing now. They have $55.
You got 55. Here's your third question. How much of the 55 you going to go for?
50.
What college is located at New Haven?
Yale.
Yale is right.
They're really on their way now. They have $105.
Now you've got $105. It's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 105 are you going to go for?
100.
What do you say, Keith?
100.
What college is at Laramie? Laramie.
University of Wyoming.
University of Wyoming.
And they wind up with $205. And that means that they get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question. We're a nation of car owners in this country, and many of us know the inside of our family car as well as the back of our hands. Others don't care about what goes on inside our car, just so long as it's driving smoothly and economically. But whichever case fits you, when you drive your car into a shop for a checkup or some kind of repair job, you do like to know what is going to be done. You like to know why, and, of course, how much it will cost. Now, here's one big reason why you'll appreciate the kind of service you get at a DeSoto Plymouth dealers. The men who work on your car at a DeSoto Plymouth dealers are service experts. They've had special training, constant training. They've special tools and equipment to work with that you won't find just anywhere. And on top of all these advantages, you'll find they've a courteous interest in explaining to you what will be done to your car, why it's going to be done. And you'll also get an estimate of what the job will cost. That's fair, isn't it? Well, fairness is one of the aims of the folks you'll meet at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And here's the greeting card writer and the wedding director, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $3,000 question, Groucho.
All right, here we go to $3,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on one single answer between you, so think carefully. And please, no help in the audience. Here it is. The first capital of our country was New York. For $3,000, where was the second capital? All right, what's the answer you two have decided upon?
Annapolis?
No, I'm sorry. It's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that means the big question next week will be worth $3,500. Well, you lost the big money, but you won $205 in the quiz. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you, huh?
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week, the big question will be worth $3,500.
Well, it's almost time for Bing Crosby, so good night, folks. And remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Here's a tip from the National Safety Council. Look out for the driver who doesn't look out for you. This is George Fenneman, signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is table. T-A-B-L-E.
Rather.
You Bet Your Life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
That Fenneman's a nice kid. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Here I am again with $3,500 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first to try and take away all his money?
We invited some high school students to the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, we selected Myrno Elliott and Melvin Knorr. And here they are, folks. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. High school students, eh? Well, it's nice to have you here. Melvin Knorr, is that right?
Melvin.
Melvin. Where are you from, Mel?
Eagle Rock High School.
Where?
Eagle Rock High School.
Eagle Rock, huh? Oh. And before that, where are you from?
Well, I was born 2 blocks north of the Warner Brothers studio in North Hollywood.
Is that with sound or without? And where are you employed?
I don't work.
I'll keep your secret, but answer my question. Where are you employed? Huh?
I don't work. I go to high school.
You're right the first time. You don't work. Myrno Elliott, is that you, Myrno?
That's right.
That's kind of an odd name for a girl, isn't it, Myrno?
Well, I had a little cousin who was 3 years old, and he couldn't say my given name, which is really Muriel, and he came out with Myrno, and we liked it so well it just stuck.
What happened to this kid that christened you, huh?
Oh, he's still a nice little boy.
Boopity boopity boop. That wasn't very nice of me to do that, Mino, but you sounded so young, and, well, I just couldn't resist it, that's all. What school do you attend, Mino?
I just graduated from Van Nuys High School.
Oh, well, congratulations. Now that you graduated from school, what are your plans? Are you going to look for a job?
I have a job keeping house for my husband.
Your husband? You mean you just graduated from high school and you've already got a husband? Did he come with a diploma?
I've had him for almost 19 years.
You had a husband for 19 years? What did you do, get married when you were 3 years old?
No, I was 14.
Well, you married late in life, didn't you? You've been married 19 years and you were 14. That comes to around, let's see, 23. 33 years old you are?
Yes, sir.
No, how old are you, 26?
I'm 33. It sounds horrible, but it doesn't feel bad.
You certainly don't look bad, huh? You're 33 years old, you've got a husband, and you just graduated from high school?
Well, I was sort of detained a little, you know. When I ran away and got married, I didn't really think I'd ever get to finish, although I always wanted to. And you see, my daughter, Aloha, was going to the school, too. And
Who?
My daughter, Aloha, was in the school with me, and everybody thought we were sisters, and we were listed in the records that way so it wouldn't discombobulate the teachers or the kids either one, you know. So
They wouldn't what, did you say? I'd like to add that to my vocabulary.
Discombobulate, that's...
Discombobulate, huh? What do you look under? Discomboob or... Tell me, did any of the high school boys try to make dates with you?
Well...
Foolish question.
A few times,
A few times, huh? How about the teachers?
Oh, no.
Just the students, huh?
That's right.
And what'd you tell them? You said,
Well, this one boy used to hide around the staircases. He kept getting so persistent, so I got him in the corner and I told him that Aloha was my daughter instead of my sister to cool him off.
Did that cool him off? Wouldn't have cooled me off, huh? Well, who signed your report card? Your husband? Huh?
Oh, I had a system. You see, I was listed at school as Myrno Elliott, so when I took the card to him, I'd sign the cards as Mrs. H.W. Elliott, and then it looked all right.
What kind of grades did you get, Mino?
Well, I was very fortunate. I was able to get all A's for all 3 semesters I was there.
Oh, that's wonderful. What grade is your daughter in?
Well, she's just a year behind me in school.
She's just a year behind you? And is her daughter only a year behind that? Now, Mel, you're still here, aren't you, Mel? You know, you could have graduated while I was talking to you. Well, where do you work, Melvin?
High school.
You're still in that school, huh? Well, do you hold any class offices like treasurer?
Well, I was a basketball manager.
Basketball? I've often wondered about that. Why don't they have a bottom in that basket so the ball doesn't keep dropping out all the time? Tell me, do they still have 6 players on the side?
That's girls' basketball.
I thought I was on the wrong team. Your basketball manager you were? How much is your salary?
I don't get a salary.
What'd they do, pay you off in dribbles? Now, what do you do as a basketball manager?
Well, I keep score for most of the games, time the games, clean the basketballs, and clean the gym floors.
You have a pretty important job there, huh? That's like a vice president in an advertising agency. Now, what kind of work do you do?
I go to high school.
Still going to school, eh? You better look out. You'll be 33, too, before you graduate. Well, it's been enlightening having you two here, and may I say you're a remarkable woman. And if you play your cards right, pretty soon you'll be the prettiest grandmother in Van Nuys High School. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to get you a chance to try for the DeSoto Plymouth $3,500 question.
The Groucho Marx program, friends, is being brought to you by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And their reason for presenting this program is to tell you something about themselves, to extend a cordial invitation to you to come in and get acquainted with them. For they're sure, once you've paid them that first visit, you'll be back whenever you need anything pertaining to cars. The reason they're so certain about this is that they, and by they, I mean everyone in a DeSoto Plymouth dealer's place of business, are out to see that you are satisfied. No matter what make of car you drive, no matter what year it is, the folks at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers will do their utmost to treat you fairly and squarely. That's their creed. That's your best reason for driving in wherever you see the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Now, let's see if two high school pupils will get the chance at the $3,500. Fenneman, tell them the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $3,500 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Now, let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected songs of the 20s as your category, is that right? Now, you have $20. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you bet? And talk right up into the microphone.
10.
This song was first popular in 1925. What's the name of it? What's the
Eyes of Blue.
That's right, 5 foot 2.
Well, they're on their way. They have $30 now, Groucho.
All right, now you got $30. Remember, you're going for $3,500 tonight. How much of the 30 will you bet?
20.
All right, give me the title of this song. Play, Jerry.
When the Red Robin Kings Baba.
When the Red Robin Kings Baba.
They're climbing now. They have $50.
All right, you got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to try?
40.
$40. Let's see if you can identify this one. Okay, Jerry.
Sitting on top of the world.
I'm sitting on top of the world.
They now have $90.
All right, you got $90. Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much of the 90?
80.
$80. What is the name of this song?
But and they wind up with $170.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now stick around. Who knows? You may be the ones who get the chance at the $3,500 question.
Groucho, the secret word is still table. Perhaps the next couple will say it. We invited some deputy district attorneys.
Deputy district turnips, did you say? Why, that's a vegetable. That man doesn't look like a vegetable to me.
I was trying to say that we invited some deputy district attorneys.
Well, why don't you say that, Fenneman, huh?
To the show tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. Bill Ritzy, and his partner is a housewife, Mrs. Lillian Watkins. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Hello? Welcome to You Bet Your Life. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. A district attorney and a housewife, eh? Practically the same thing. Now, D.A., are you married? Answer yes or no.
Yes.
How'd you meet your wife? And remember, you're under oath.
Well, frankly, she's a minister's daughter.
Call me Groucho, huh? Frankly left about 10 minutes ago.
She's a minister's daughter, and I happen to be taking the collection.
Oh, did you take the whole collection?
No, there were two of us.
Oh. I see. Well, you split it, huh? Tell me, isn't it customary to turn in something to the church?
Well, we try to turn in all of it.
Oh, I see.
In any event, while taking the collection, she asked me how was business, and...
You mean she was a crook, too? Well, anyhow, you must have got the wedding for nothing, didn't you?
No, I had to pay for that.
You had to pay your old man? So did you get a rebate later on?
No, I didn't.
Are you married, Mrs. Watkins?
You've been calling me Mrs.
I'm married and nobody calls me Mrs. How'd you meet your husband, Mrs. Watkins?
Well, I was working at the Denver Dry Goods in the ladies' suit and dress department. So one day the buyer says, well, won't you take some down to the window trimmer? So I went down there, and I didn't hear the window trimmers come back. And finally, one of them says to the other, well, where did that new dummy come from anyway? I turned around. I was very angry, and I says, well, I'm no dummy, and here's your dresses. And I walked out. And he says, well, you don't need to get so mad, do you?
And what'd you say?
And I said, yes, if you come up in our department, we treat you nice.
And what was your department?
Ladies' dress department.
Ladies' dresses.
Yes.
Now, Bill Ritzy, as the district attorney, just what do you do?
Well, I'm not the district attorney. I'm a district attorney.
The question was, what do you do? Not what are you? And as long as you brought it up, what's the difference between the district attorney and a district attorney?
Well, I'm under the district attorney.
Must get pretty stuffy under there. Well, as an assistant DA, what do you do as an assistant district attorney?
Well, I'm not an assistant district attorney. I'm a deputy district attorney.
Don't tell me you're under him, too, huh?
Yes, I am.
Well, it sounds to me you're low man on the totem pole. Well, what do you do as a deputy district attorney? So far, you haven't done anything. Just go to sleep under two men, huh?
We prosecute criminal cases. I happen to be assigned to one of the trial divisions, and...
Do you handle burglaries?
Yes.
Have you ever been caught? Where do you get your business, D.A.? Do you advertise in the newspaper? Like Crook Wanted?
No, about 95% of our business comes in from the various police departments here in the county, and of course the rest come in from private citizens.
Well, sounds pretty reasonable. Anything going on in your neighborhood, Mrs. Watkins, that you'd like to bring to the attention of the district attorney?
No, not that I can think of.
You mean all is serene in your life? Can't you think of anything you'd like to complain about?
Not all. The lady on my party line just talks too much.
She keeps talking, and I suppose you don't get a chance to use the telephone.
No,
huh?
I don't. Sometimes 10, 15, 20 minutes.
What do they talk about? Huh?
Oh, she's always talking about what...
I think we got a case here for the DA. The district attorney, what's the penalty for wiretapping? Well, I've grilled our district attorney, but it was all in fun. Nobody knows any better than I do what a great job the district attorney does for the taxpayer. Now, please, don't laugh at that, huh? That's to square me with the cops. Now, you're going to play your bet your life for $3,500. You beat our other couples, and you get a chance at the big question later. I can't tell you how much the first couple won, but Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners.
The 33-year-old high school girl and her partner won $170.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected capitals of Latin American countries as your category, right? All right, you have $20. How much you going to bet? And talk right into the microphone and loud.
$10.
$10. Here's your first question. What is the capital city of Peru?
Lima.
Lima is right. And they're on their way with $30.
All but 10.
You're going to bet $20. Is that right? What is the capital city of Argentina?
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires is right. You now have $50. Huh?
Bet the whole 50.
The whole 50. All right. What is the capital city of Chile? Chile.
Santiago.
Santiago is right.
They're really climbing now. They have $100.
All right, you got $100. It's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 100 will you bet?
Bet it all.
All right, what is the capital city of Ecuador?
Quito.
Quito is right.
And they wind up with $200.
Hey, watch yourself. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, it won't be long before we meet the last couple, and then we know who gets the chance at the $3,500 question. Fenneman, who's ahead?
The deputy district attorney and the housewife with $200. And the secret word is still table. We invited some dog trainers and some piano teachers to the show tonight. And here come the two selected to be on our show with the studio audience just before we went on the air. Mr. Carl Spitz and Mrs. Inez Murray. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, folks, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if one of you says the secret word, he wins $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you'll find around the house. Mrs. Maury, is that right?
Yes.
Inez Maury?
Yes.
You're a piano teacher, huh?
Yes, I am.
Very attractive piano teacher, huh? I've been thinking of taking up the piano lately.
I'd love to have you.
And Mr. Spitz, you're the dog trainer?
Yes.
Well, there's been a horrible mistake here. We asked for a dog trainer and we got a dog. Are you from Spitzenberg?
No, quite a bit distant from Spitzbergen. I'm
Where?
from near Heidelberg in Germany.
Oh, well, you must be a beer expert, huh?
Sometimes.
Miss, are you married, Ina?
Yes, I am.
You are. How'd you meet your husband?
Oh, it was very unromantic at first.
How long was it unromantic?
Dear. Mutual friends arranged a meeting. The friends said, we think you two musicians should meet each other.
Oh, what does he play?
He's a pianist, too.
Did you have the piano movers carry you over the threshold when you got married? Mr. Spitz, you're the dog trainer, is that right?
So far, yes.
Well, then we can start from scratch. Now, I want to ask you a question. You're a dog trainer. Is it true a barking dog never bites?
Not as long as he bikes.
Well, they say every dog has his day. He certainly doesn't seem to be mine. What's the best age to start training dogs, Mr. Spitz?
Oh, about 8 months.
You mean you've been training dogs since you were 8 months old?
No, I mean the dog is 8 months old.
Well, that's better. After all, after 8 months, you weren't very well trained yourself. Now, tell me, Chopsticks, what are some of the typical excuses your students give you for not practicing?
Oh, heavens. There are thousands of them.
Well, give us 900, huh?
Oh, dear. Sore fingers. Daddy sleeps all day. The keys of the piano are stuck, won't sound.
What sort of excuses do your dogs use to get out of their lessons?
Well, the dogs have no excuses.
I thought they might say, excuse me, but I have to see a dog about a man. What makes one dog vicious and one dog gentle, Mr. Spitz?
Well, fundamental, I don't think there's any vicious dog.
Not if you're on the mantle, no, but I mean... Do dogs ever become psychiatric cases? Do they have dog psychologists?
Yes.
Which dogs make the best psychologists? I suppose the dog lies on a couch and talks about the days when he was a kitten. Huh? Well, let's get back to you, Arpeggio. Do you think you could teach me to play the piano, Ines?
Yes, I'm sure I could. Could you sing a scale?
Scale? I think so. Would you join me in a duet?
Yes.
Huh? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la,
si, do.
Wonderful.
Gad, that was beautiful, Ines. From now on, that will be our song. Now you're going to play the DeSoto Plymouth game, you bet your life. And if you beat our other two couples, you'll get a crack at the $3,500 question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The deputy district attorney and the housewife are ahead with $200.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected royalty as your category, is that right? You have $20. How much you going to try?
10.
What is the name of the Emperor of Japan?
Hirohito.
Hirohito.
Now they have $30.
$30. Remember, you're going for $3,500 tonight. How much of the 30 will you try?
Shall we try 20?
What is the name of the exiled king of Belgium?
King Leopold.
Leopold is right.
They're climbing now. They have $50.
You got $50. Here's your third question. How much of the 50 are you going to try?
You decide.
25.
Okay, the little king of Italy abdicated, his throne in 1946 and died a year later. What was his name?
Emmanuel.
Victor Emmanuel is right.
They now have $75.
Well, you got $75. How much of the 75 will you go for?
50.
What is the name of the emperor of Ethiopia?
Haile Selassie.
Haile Selassie, happy land.
And they wind up with $125. And that means the deputy district attorney and the housewife get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $3,500 question. A while back, I suggested that you folks drive in and get acquainted with a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. While you're there, visit the service shop. Notice the fine equipment. This equipment is there for you, for use on your car. Every DeSoto Plymouth dealer has special tools and equipment in his shop, the kind you won't find just anywhere. These tools and equipment are factory designed and approved. In the hands of skilled mechanics, you'll find these tools can save hours of time on a job. They help a DeSoto Plymouth dealer's service experts do better work faster. That, of course, means money in your pocket, as well as a car that serves you faithfully and economically mile after mile. So visit that DeSoto Plymouth dealer real soon, will you? Get to know the folks in the office, the men in the shop. And you'll find that this knowledge will be a big comfort in the thousands of car miles that lie ahead of you. Tomorrow, drive in at the sign of an authorized DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. And here is the housewife and the deputy district attorney, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $3,500 question, Groucho.
All right, here we go for $3,500. Ready? I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on one single answer between you, so think carefully and please, no help from the audience. Here it is. There is only one active volcano in the United States. What is this volcano? What's the answer you two have decided upon?
I'm going to take a guess. Mount Lassen.
Mount Lassen is right. That's right. You win $3,500. What are you going to do with all that money? What are you going to do with all that money?
Well, I got a house that needs going over from top to bottom.
I'll go over it for $3,000. Huh? I'll go under it for $2,000. What about you, D.A.? What are you going to do with the money? Give that money back in the church? What are you going to do with this, Luca?
We haven't any youngsters yet, but I'm sure we are going to have some. And that's...
Well, let's see. You win $3,500 plus $200 in the quiz. You say you really cleaned up tonight, huh? Congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week the big question will be worth $1,000.
Well, it's almost time for Bing Crosby, so good night, folks. And remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Here's a tip from the National Safety Council. The highway is no place for a surprise party. Always signal when you stop, slow down, turn, or change direction. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.